Fellow woodworkers and woodworkettes, it is almost Mother's Day. And if you don't have your Mother's Day projects built to either sell or give to that awesome mother figure in your life, then you are up a pickle without a paddle, or in a creek of hot water with your pants down. I don't know, but you're in trouble. Luckily for you, in this video, I have a couple awesome projects that you could build in one weekend. If you wanted to, you could build them in one day with a few tweaks. Heck, the first project is one board and a few accessories. You could build that in a few hours. Enough with the jabber, John. Let's get to building. All right, guys, our first build is super simple. All you need is two 1x6s cut to 12 inches, two glass bottles, preferably something with a lip on it. I got these off of Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description. And then two of these pipe clamps. I got these off of Amazon also. I got a pack of 24. If you want to find them at like Home Depot or something, they're 1.5 inches. Actually, let me check and make sure they are 1.5 inches. Yes, they're 1.5 inches or 40 millimeter. So the first thing I did was sand my two boards down with 150 grit sandpaper. Now, sanding your project is one of the most important things you could do to make it look good when you stain it. Speaking of stain, I'm using my go-to Provincial for this one. No, I'm not getting paid by Big Provincial. I just like that color. Well, actually, my wife likes it, so I have to like it. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. In honor of Mother's Day, no wife jokes in this video. And no flatulating, no flatulation jokes. There may be some silent ones, but you won't hear them. And in honor of you wonderful mothers out there, we got Wonder Woman on the sign today. And for some of you a little bit crazier moms, we got Harley Quinn. I ain't judging you. While my 1x6s are drying, I'm gonna paint these pipe clamps, but first I'm gonna clean them with some denatured alcohol so the paint sticks better. If you don't have denatured alcohol, you could use water. This just dries faster and it helps get the oil off better. Now my clamps are moving around on me, so if you had to, you could screw them to a piece of wood if you don't mind them moving. I wouldn't try to get them all in one coat. I would try to do it in 2 coats so you don't get drips and stuff. I'm using this satin black by Krylon. If this is still too glossy, I have another flat black that I'll just spray over top of this. So this will be like my first coat or my primer. Now, since I let my stain dry over the weekend, I get to use my favorite finish, water-based polyurethane and the matte finish. See, this is why I like the water-based finish. Look at the finish on that. This is the matte finish. So, I mean, nothing's completely matte. It has a little bit of sheen to it, but just enough. I think it comes out perfect, but there's no bubbles. It's a smooth, it feels nice. It doesn't feel too plasticky. And you can wash your brushes right in the sink. It cleans up very easy.
Are you washing your brush in my sink again?
No, I'm washing my hands.
You better not make a mess in my bathroom.
Okay, so now I gotta mount my bottles to these pieces of wood. I'm gonna leave a 1/2 inch space on the bottom, and I have this spacer block, and it just happens to have a line dead center on it. So dead center of my board is 2 3/4, because my board is 5.5 inches. So I just gotta put that mark at 2 3/4. So now I know I'm centered in my board. The bottle itself is kind of hard because it wants to roll. So you kind of gotta like let it roll where it's gonna, because sometimes the bottles are off. And then just kind of eyeball it the best you can. And that should be dead center right there. I don't know if it looks like it in the video because I'm kind of off to the side a little. But right about there should be dead center. And then I'm gonna try to hold it still, and I'm gonna mark these holes because I'm gonna pre-drill them. So I'm gonna double check and see the distance from each side. This one's about 1.5 inches. I don't know if you can see that. And this one is about 1.5 inches. So I think that's really good. My next one will probably be messed up, but I think that one's pretty good. So I'm gonna pre-drill it, and then this time I'm gonna put this I'm gonna try to put this dead center so you can see if like where I'm centered at. I'm gonna put this on there, get my 1/2 inch spacer, find the center of my board, which is 2 3/4 right there. Should be dead center. Oh, I moved that instead of the bottle. Okay. 2 3/4 right there. Now you just gotta move the bottle over a little. Yeah, see, the bottle wants to roll. It's a pain in my asteroid belt. So right about right there. I always get the first one great, and then I overthink the second one because I'm nervous. I'm moving all over the place. All right, you guys ready? Let's see. Quabam. Quabam. I'm going to pre-drill it with this bit. It's used for doing hinges. The drill bit comes out of it like that. Normally you have the tapered hole that you put it on like a hinge or something, and when you push down, it holds it centered. I don't think I need that. I'm just gonna push it on top of this. And that worked pretty good. I didn't pay attention to which pipe bracket went to which one, and they're a little bit different. And I just realized it right now. I'm realizing these straps are a little twisted, so I might not have put it on the same way. Because if I put this where that hole's at, if I put the second screw, you see how far off my bottle is? So I got to bring it down some to get it to be level. So I think maybe a better idea might be to put in one screw, see where you're falling. If you have straps like mine that are kind of like twisted, I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but they're not exactly straight. So I'm going to put in one screw. Then I'm going to drill the second hole on the next one, see where it falls. So putting in one screw first also help hold it in place while you drill the second hole so the bottle's not moving all over the place. But just remember, this is a test run, so what happens next, don't hold it against me, because this is the first time I've ever done this. In woodworking, 1 minute you're admiring your work, and the next minute, oh, what the? Yeah, that really happened. It's not tight enough. All right, I found out the hard way that these straps have to be pulled out a little bit. It looks like, you'd think it couldn't be pulled out, but look at this. Be careful when you're screwing these in, because if your screw hits, it can make this spin, and these are pretty sharp. They can slice your hands. So go in easy and be aware that it can take off on you and slice you. All right. So instead of spreading them wider, I just made them go in more so they're more wrapped around it. You can actually squeeze it in and then tighten this down. Oops, wrong. So I used my drill bit and I pushed in on the edges and held it in place, and then I tightened them down so it was more wrapped around the bottle better. And also for the new holes, I used my speed square to make sure they were lined up. As you can see, the two that I previously did are not lined up where they should have been. And then I used a hole punch to make sure my drill bit didn't slip. I got this box of picture hanging assortment hardware from Walmart. It was on clearance for $4.50. I'm gonna put these hooks on the back so you can hang these on the wall. Now I put my hook 2 inches down from the top and then just centered it in the board, which is 2 3/4 if you're using a 1x5, 2 3/4 from each side. You're probably wondering, why am I hanging an empty bottle on the wall? Well, in my family, my mom would be so proud when we would have a clean urine sample that she would hang it on the wall. Just kidding. I'm sorry, that was not Mother's Day appropriate. Okay, so here's a little something extra you can do for these bottles. I got these lights off of Amazon. It came in a 6-pack, and they come like a tiny little battery holder that you can hide really easily. If you're not a good woodworker, this is the best thing you can do. Add lights to everything. Now this part's completely optional, adding the lights, but I think it really upgrades the piece. Ta-da! Now you can make your urine sample glow. I'm sorry. I apologize. Quabam! What do you guys think? Jasco Goods is making cool stuff. He's kind of chunky, but he makes such cool stuff. On the wall, on the floor, with a saw. Now check this out. Perfect for that romantic Mother's Day dinner that you make yourself. Don't make her own Mother's Day dinner. Make her grilled cheese or something. And if you guys don't like any of the projects I have in this video, I have 2 other videos. I have a couple other videos actually. Well, 2 of them in particular where I'm making different kind of jewelry holders. For my next project, I'm going to use a 2x8. This one right here, you see this purple paint? That means I got it on clearance for 70% off. Or I hit Barney in the head with it. Here's a cut list I made. You can either pause the video and write it down, or you can screenshot it. Now it says 2x6, but that's not the actual dimension. I used a 2x6, a construction grade 2x6. The real important measurement is the last number, the 8.5 inch and the 18 inch. Now when you cut your 18-inch boards with the 245s, you want to cut the 45 and then measure over from the longest part of the 45 to 18 inches. After you get all your boards cut, you're going to want to sand them down. Mine were kind of rough, so I started with 80 grit, then I went to 100 grit, and then I finished them at 120 grit. Now I'm going to assemble this thing with dowels, and I'm going to use this cheap $7 dowel jig I got. I'll leave a link for it in the description. I got it from Amazon. I'm going to use this stop collar to make sure I'm going in the right depth. My 3/8 dowels are 1.5 inches long, so half of that is 3/4 of an inch. So I need to make sure my stop collar is sticking out at least 3/4 of an inch past my drill guide. So to figure out where I'm going to put my dowels, I put my two shelf pieces together, and you see I got a little bow in them. They're a little bit cupped, but that's going to be okay. Then I take my speed square, and wherever I put it, that 45 is going to be straight across. So I'm going to put one on this end, about right here, and I'll make a line. Then I'll come down to this side, about right here, and I'll make another line. And that's where I'm going to put my two dowels. So now I have to transfer that line to the inside where my dowels are going to go. I'm going to use my speed square again. I'm going to put it up there. I'm going to make sure that where that top line is, I just transfer it down, and then do the same thing with this one. So now I'm going to clamp my board down so it doesn't move on me. So this dowel jig will center itself in the board, so I don't have to worry about being centered this way. I just got to make sure that I look through the hole and that line is directly in the center of my hole. Then hold it as still as I can. And one more in the bottom here. Line myself up over that line, hold this tight. There you go, I just gotta repeat that on the other side. Bottom one looks dead center, but this top one looks a little off. Hopefully that still lines up good. All right, let's see how good it did. Quabam! I quabammed too soon. All right, you can see I'm off a little bit. See how much my lines are off? So, not a big deal. I'm just gonna sand the back of that down once I get it glued together. You really can't tell anything. I just won't let anybody stand close to it. I'll have like a 5-foot rule. I think one of the issues was my drill bit was really dull, so I'm gonna use this other drill bit, but since I can't put a stop collar on this one, I just gotta use a piece of tape. You know what I just realized on this jig? These posts on here are 3/4 of an inch. I wonder if that was done on purpose, because that's half the size of a dowel. If you had a different kind of drill bit, you could set it down like that and just put till the drill bit touches something. The only problem with that is the drill bit I'm using has a tip on it. So the tip would touch first, but I wouldn't get the main part of the bit that low. But I wonder if that's why they did that. Probably. That's well thought out if it is. For the legs, I'm just gonna mark the center using the center marking jig thing that I got. Just gonna put it on here. Then this jig has a line that goes across the center of the top and then goes down the side. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. It comes down the side. All I gotta do is line that up now with the center mark I have. Then just tighten up the fence knob. Okay, so I know this is gonna be the outside edge of my shelf. It's gonna sit like this. The top of the shelf is gonna sit like this on here. So I wanna make sure that this is gonna go up against the outside part when I drill in case I'm not perfectly centered. And then when I drill this part, I'm gonna go in from the outside edge too. And then I'm just gonna line it up with this edge right here till it's flush. I'm gonna put a clamp this time, make sure I'm still flush, and then drill this out. Then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Make sure I'm flush. If you have to spin the board like I did to clamp it, make sure you keep your jig facing the same way, your jig fence. Make sure it's on the same side as the hole you just drilled. If you use a clamp, you gotta be careful because you're just kind of on the edge there and it can slide your jig this way. When it pinches down, it can make it slide out. So just be careful it doesn't slide out on you. Okay, now for me, it's easy to see because the side I want to face down is more red than the top. I don't know if you can see that in the video. It's a little bit more of a reddish tint. So, but make sure the side that you want down on your, because you got that 45, if you do them both on the same side, if you make them both on the same side, you're gonna be messed up. So make sure the side you want down is facing up on your shelf. Put this put it this way. And then this time, line this edge up with the edge of this board. Double check, make sure you're still flush after you put your clamp on. Make sure you're pushed all the way in, you're touching still. and then drill your hole. For this second side, I'm just gonna clamp the board down and then try to hold it as tight as I can without using a clamp and keeping it flush up against that side.
I think not using a clamp was a bad idea.
Okay, now it's time to check it and see how I did. Oh, it looks like this side I'm off. Can you see that? Let me try this piece. Maybe this piece will fit it a little bit better. No, it must be the one going into the board. Must be this one. They're both off the same. Let me see if I can bring it this way a little. All right, well, that's not too bad. I mean, this is cupped, so you can see it's a little gap where it's cupped, but I could always sand that down. That's not too bad. Let's check the other side. One of them I didn't drill deep enough. So again, I'm off. You see the lip? Always on this one side for some reason. I don't know what I did to be consistently that way. Let me see if I flip it, if it makes a difference. Nope, it's still, see how it's off? Let me do the same thing. I'm gonna hold this out a little bit. There we go. What do you think? It's good side to side. All right, what do you guys think? It's a little off on the one side, but when I clamp it, I could just pull this way a little bit, and I think it'll be good.
A lot of times when I do my glue ups, not everything lines up perfectly, and sometimes it's off by a bit. I can cut my pieces on Tuesday and everything looks good, and then the next day I go to glue it up and it's off. So tweaking stuff a little bit with clamps is okay. But if you have to put a ton of pressure on something to get it to manipulate it into position, then more than likely that piece isn't going to last too long. It's going to crack out, or it's going to warp something else. Something's going to warp on you. Even if you clear coat it and everything, you have it protected from the elements, something's going to warp on you. This piece is a kitchen shelf. It's not going to, I'm not passing it down to my grandchildren or anything. It's probably going to be out of style in a few years. So I'm not real worried about it. But I'm not even really manipulating it that much, just a little bit.
Okay, so when I clamped it, I put a little pressure on it this way, pulling them into each other, and it pulled my lines together a lot better. I don't know if you remember how far off they were. Like that one's like dead on now. So the glue's all dry now on the shelf. The front legs are good. Everything's all nice. I just got to put on the back leg, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that with a dowel. I'm going to try to find the center of my back leg with my speed square by just making an X. And it's probably not perfectly center, but that's okay.
Holy mackerel, look how crooked I'm drilling this thing. I've seen tweaker teeth straighter than this.
Now I've got this dowel pin kit, and it's, as you can see, it's marked with the different size dowels. And I'm going to use the 3/8 one, which should be this one. So I'm going to take the pin that has a sharp point on it, and I'm going to put it into the hole that I just drilled. I like the grain on these two sides, so I'm going to put those forward, even though it doesn't really matter. You're probably not going to see it back here, but I just want to know which side is going to be forward because I want to make sure I glue it that way too. So I'm going to put it the same way I'm going to glue it is the way I want to put it on here now, just in case I'm not completely centered. I'm going to get it right where I want it. Then I'm going to give it a little tap. And then that left me a little indentation in the wood, and that's where I got to drill my hole for my dowel. So there you go, it looks good. I just got to put some glue. I'm just going to clamp it, put a little bit of pressure. I don't want to go overboard and have it pull it crooked. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on it. That's all you need.
I have a little bit of a gap on top. I'm just going to fill it in with some wood putty.
Guys, let me show you how dry it is here in Vegas. Every bottle of wood filler I have is dried up. I can't get a wood filler to last me more than a few months. Look at that. There's a bunch in here. I could probably clear it out by sticking something in the tip. Here's this one. I've already done that. The wood filler inside is just dry, so I have to use a screw and then put it on my finger off the screw, then fill in my holes.
After the wood putty, I did a quick sanding just to knock down the wood putty and then also to take care of any scratches or squeeze out or glue I might have gotten on the wood after the glue up.
Okay, so my shelf is done. It's sanded. It's ready for stain. But one more thing I want to do is add a little decorative edge on this thing. I think I put my camera too low. I want to put a little decorative edge on this. So I've got my round over bit in here. And I think I'm actually going to put the step, though. I usually just do the round over part, but there's actually that little step, you know, with it. I'm going to go to the step. See how it looks. I never know where to hold this thing. It's got a handle here, I guess. I don't know if is that the handle. How are you supposed to hold this thing? Like this? Like this? Last time I did, I stuck my finger in the hole while it was spinning. I almost got my finger stuck in there. So I just don't, this isn't very comfortable to hold. I don't know if this is just because it's Ryobi, but. Okay, so that's with just the round over so far. I haven't gotten to the little step yet, but I think I'm going to do it. Hopefully it comes out good. What do you guys think? You like that? Or should I left it just a round over? I like it. It's different. I never use it. I got all these router bits and I never do anything but a round over or a chamfer. Okay, the stain I'm using on this one is Western Oak. I'm staining the bottom first, if it wasn't obvious, because that way I can flip it over and it can sit on the legs while I'm staining the top. I'm excited to see this thing decorated in its spot. I think you guys are really going to like this one. What do you guys think of this Western Oak color? I like it. I think it came out pretty good. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I really like the grain on this pine too. So I usually use the Behr water-based matte finish polyurethane. So I wanted to try it in the oil base and see if I like it as much. Let's give it a try. So I used a fast drying stain so that way I could clear coat it the same day. And that's why I'm using the oil-based clear coat. I wanted to try this clear coat right out of the can because I really like the water base, so I thought the oil base was going to be really good too. But it's actually pretty thick, and I should have watered it down, and I should have used a separate container because it's bleeding onto my brush. So I had to have my wife come help me film while I put it into a separate container.
Oh, I'd love to assist you.
I just saw this paint can hack on Lincoln Street Woodworks, and so I wanted to give it a try. Sorry about the banter between me and my wife. Breathing like Darth Vader over here.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I just got off the treadmill. And then you wonder why. Oh, you never want to help me.
Well, when I'm thinking it's me. I'm like, dang, this fat guy's all heavy.
You talk over it anyways. Shaking all over the place. You arts and crafts over here? You keep pushing that closer and closer to the edge.
And I'm about to break.
Your face.
Hand me them scissors. So this is supposed to keep your paint can clean while you transfer paint, or in this case, clear coat, into another container. I still got it in the lip. So after thinning this down, it went on much smoother. Okay, so the first coat of the oil base came out okay. I could feel the bubbles in it, but it looks pretty good. It's the first coat, so I think you're gonna get bubbles in the first coat as air releases from the wood fiber. But yeah, it feels pretty good. The matte finish is more forgiving. Here's what I did though. I wanted to share with you guys. This might help you. I use these Tupperware containers. Like if I'm gonna clear coat something, I put it in a separate container, and then the next day, I just pull the lid off and do it. This water-based one has been sitting in here probably a couple months since I've used the water-based, and I used it yesterday and it was great. It worked, nothing wrong with it. This I just used yesterday and put it overnight. It's got a thick skin on it. So you can't do that with the oil base. You have to pour it back in and clean up all your stuff. Just another negative for the oil base in my opinion. And then the brush, I try to wrap it in saran wrap so I didn't have to clean it. And it's hard. So yeah, you can't do that with oil base either. Now I'm gonna sand it down with this 320 grit and then do another coat. I'm gonna thin down the second coat.
see if I can get less bubbles, maybe a better finish out of it. I think with the oil-based polyurethane, it's just best to thin it. No matter how new the jar is, no matter what, put it in a separate container and thin it down a little bit. Bam! What do you guys think? It needs to be decorated better. I did it myself. My wife's gonna have to do it herself. I think she's gonna love it. She could put out all these fancy canisters on there, flour, sugar, crack, whatever you guys are into, do it. I'm not judging you. Happy mother-loving Mother's Day.